I would like to start a small series on how to actually bring peace into your life. When I made the name of my channel, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put videos together, meditation, mindfulness, all about bringing peace into your life and being able to deal with life better so that you can actually function really well and actually enjoy your life. So I've never actually put out a video about how to bring peace into your life. So this is going to be a series of videos that you can put together and look at bringing peace into your life and working on that. So finding peace in life isn't usually about removing all the chaos or difficulty, but about cultivating a steady, kind and accepting relationship with yourself and the world around you. Life as we know it can be difficult. It's stressful. There's work, there's kids, there's household chores, there's functioning in life. And it can be difficult, but it doesn't mean that you cannot put some things in place so that you can help yourself function and really enjoy life and not feel like it's a trudge every day. So, there are many ways to invite peace into your life. And it's not only about inviting peace into your life, but also making sure that you practice these so that you can keep peace in your life and you can preserve your peace. One of the first things I would say is practicing inner stillness is very, very important. With everything going on in life and everything being really busy, sometimes it's very hard to feel like you're calm. There's a lot going on, there's a list, there's loads of things to do and loads of things to tackle. And that can be quite difficult to then practice inner peace and inner stillness. But I think it's something that's very important. So, one of the main ways that I do that is to meditate. You can do 5 to 10 minutes of quiet breathing, help you calm your mind and regulate your emotions. So, a very basic breathing exercise of getting in a very quiet space, a comfortable space, closing your eyes, breathing in and breathing out, and focusing on your breath. And that can be really, really helpful. It can really calm down your nervous system and it can really make you feel a lot calmer and a lot able to manage things in life. Also, mindful moments are really important. So, noticing the simple things in life. If you're walking through a garden, the scent of the flowers, the sounds of the birds chirping. It's sometimes we block this stuff out because we're so busy, we're so focused on what we're doing next, what we've got coming up, an appointment that's happening, some the like doing the school run. There's so many things in your head, and we keep so many things in our head that we forget to actually be mindful in the moment, and we miss things. We can miss a lot of things if we're not mindful in the moment. So, what I would suggest is thinking about here and now, not the past, not the future, not what's going to be done, what's been done, what needs to be done, but just focus on being here and now. And that can be really helpful and can actually be really grounding. And that is something that I forget to do a lot of the time. Um, but when I come back to that and I'm in the moment, it's very helpful and very therapeutic. Something else that's really helpful is trying to simplify your thoughts. So let go of overthinking. Let go of all these, I need to do this, I need to do that. What about this? What about that? It's chaotic and it's too much. And when your head's chaotic and your mind's chaotic, it's very difficult to have peace and inner peace. Also, what we need to look at is practicing acceptance. There are a lot of things in life that we can't change. And what I practice with my clients very much is looking at what can you control and what you can't control in this situation. So if it's something you can control, then do something about it. Change the situation. If it's something you can't control, then look at who can. So maybe it's an issue at work. If you speak to your boss, they might be able to take some of your workload off of you, or they might be able to help you if you're not understanding something, and you can then change that situation. Then there's situations where you can't change it at all. And what happens in those situations is you have to work towards accepting that you cannot change that situation and accepting what's happened. And when you do start to do that work on accepting, the acceptance of the truth and how the reality is can actually free up energy and peace. And that can be something that is very, very powerful, because when we accept that we cannot control a situation, we worry about the situation less, and that takes a lot of pressure off us, and it takes a lot of stuff off our heads that may be actually really interfering with our peace and causing us to find situations very difficult. So acceptance is a really important thing to work towards. Another thing that is very helpful is to nurture compassion. So when we talk about compassion in therapy, we talk about looking at being kind to yourself, being kind to others, and being compassionate. For yourself, you need to think about speaking to yourself kindly, especially when you're struggling. We can be our own worst enemy, and we can have a very tough and strong inner voice where what I say to my clients quite often is, you're kicking yourself when you're down. So not only you're struggling, but you're telling yourself you shouldn't be struggling. You're telling yourself you should be able to cope. Why are you not coping? Other people can cope. What is that about? Why are you not being able to do this? And that is very, very difficult, because we're being very unkind to ourselves. And if we thought that somebody else was doing that to us, or someone we knew was doing that to themselves, we would be telling them, look, don't do that to yourself. You've gone through a lot. You should be looking at what's happening, how far you've come. But we tend to do that to ourselves. And it's that negative self-talk that can really get in the way of experiencing peace and actually holding on to that peace once you've done something to bring peace into your life. For others, it's always also about empathy. We should give empathy to ourselves, but also to others. So when you give empathy to other people, empathy softens resentment and builds peace in relationships. So if you're in a relationship and something's happened, someone's done something that you find really difficult or you're not happy with, we can talk to our partners, we can talk to people in our life, we can sort these things out and we can work on it. But holding that resentment really gets in the way of your peace, and it also gets in the way of a healthy relationship, because you're holding on to stuff. And when you hold on to stuff, it's very difficult to see that person in a good light. So let me say that again. Empathy softens resentment and builds peace in relationships. That can be peace in your relationship with yourself, but more often it's peace in relationship with others. So giving empathy, letting stuff go, and allowing that person to be who they are, and allowing you to be who you are and truly who you are, can really benefit in relationships. And it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It can be your parent, it can be your children, it can be looking at, once something has happened and once it has been brought up and worked on and resolved, we should be looking at empathy and not resentment, and being able to move forward from that situation. And as I say, that can help with the relationship with yourself, but also with others. And it is really helpful to allow yourself to build that inner peace and also build that peace within your relationships. It's not just about peace in yourself, it's about building that type of behaviour so that in your relationships and your inner circle and your friend circle and your family circle of people, there's empathy, there's understanding, there's compassion for them, but there's also compassion for yourself. So compassion for yourself and compassion for others is really important, and that really puts you in a better space to bring peace into your life and keep that in your life and to keep that going. And it does take work, and it is a practice. You practice these things, and the more you practice them, the more they become habits. And once they become a habit, it's more second nature. It's more, that's the way you are, rather than that's the way you're trying to be. So I hope that this video has helped. I will do a second part of this video where I'll give another 4 points on how to bring peace into your life. And then after that, I'm going to look at how to preserve that peace once you've worked on it and once you've brought that into your life. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video.